Stellar's Jay flew over back there. Hey, good morning. I'd like to give you another trail camera tip, and this trail camera tip is going to help you hopefully think about being a little creative when you set up your trail cameras, and hopefully you have them in security boxes, because I like to funnel animals into my cameras, and one way of doing that is, of course, log bridges or logs. And I like to set cameras up about this high off the log, so I get as soon as any animal steps at the end of the loop and comes towards you or goes away, you immediately pick him up and the camera starts rolling. But let's face it, Mother Nature always doesn't provide that perfect tree where you can set your camera at any log. So you got to kind of come up with some different ideas. And so I'd like to show you a couple of my setups to give you an idea what I had to do to get that view of animals coming down a log. So let me turn this camera around so you can see what that looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like when you turn the camera around. I didn't have that perfect tree, but I did have a log laying across this log, and it just happened to be at the perfect height. I like to aim my cameras down my logs on the ground and log bridges by simply just being a little creative, cutting a notch out of the tree and mounting a security box here. I now also have a unique situation, and that being is, as animals come down this log bridge, there's a trail now developing behind me. So I got them climbing over my trail camera both ways. I want to stress, if you're going to try this technique, you want to use a security box for sure, because animals climbing over are going to put their foot right here. I get a lot of bears coming across this, and this camera would not last if I didn't have a security box. All right, let's go check out those other setups I got on my log bridges where I didn't have the perfect tree.
Hey, Doug out here again in the woods. Here's a trail camera tip for you. Every once in a while you got to be creative in how you put your trail cameras in. And today's just one of those days. I like to have a camera at each end of my log bridge besides on the sides to get that side angle view. But I like the cameras looking right down the log bridge, so I funnel as the animal comes. It's funneling him right into my camera. And this is a bridge I had a camera on earlier. The Department of Natural Resources came in and spinned out some of the woods in this area, so I pulled this camera for a couple weeks. Now I'm ready to put it back in. Because I have no tree here, I had to come up with a different technique. And the technique I'm using today is just get a metal spike. I bought this at Lowe's for like 10 bucks. And I'm going to pound it in using a rubber mallet. And of course I'm going to have my camera out before I do that. And I don't know if you can tell by this camera angle from shooting this, but this bridge slightly goes uphill to the other side, so it's at an angle. And because I'm using a spike, I can pound it just at that right angle so I can look right down the log. And that's a great tip for when you find a log and there's not a tree. Most trees are like this and you don't want to use a bracket. Try a spike, because then you can just pound it in the ground and get it right at the angle so your camera looks straight up that log, so as any animal comes in, he's funneled right into your camera. Once I get this camera set right here, then I'm going to go ahead and try to use an additional security measure by putting a cable lock through that lock. And then what it does, I'm going to bury it under this log here, and anybody comes along, they're going to have to either cut this log, because this is a pretty big log, and make it a little more difficult for the average person just to walk off with my camera. All right, let's get her done. Once again, tip here is be creative when putting in cameras, because sometimes there's just not the perfect tree and you got to come up with a different technique. And today's technique is just no more than using a metal spike. Okay, let's get it done. cable's really very, this is actually down in a ravine. The average person has no business even walking down there. They just won't do it. This is an area I don't have anybody coming through. I only pretty much worry about the back end if they're standing up on this side, because this was where they would come from, looking down and spotting my camera. So the back end is all I really need on this camera to be camouflaged really well. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I was able to get that angle. So hopefully I'm looking right up the log again, and I'll start to get some great videos of different animals coming across real soon. Okay, let's go check some other trail cameras. I got 2 more cameras I want to actually put out today on this log bridge. I'm going to put one at that far end and another one on the side, so I've got to get going because it looks like I'm going to get some rain here pretty quick. All right, let's get her done. Hey, here's a trail camera tip for you. You might recognize this as being one of my bridges. I love log bridges because it funnels animals into your camera. I mounted the camera right here. As you can see, there's really not a big tree, but I like to have my cameras at the end of my log bridges where you get a direct view as animals come towards you or away from you. So I had to be a little creative when making this, putting this camera in, and I'll turn the camera around and show you what I did. So just like that other, somebody shooting not too far from here. So what I did is I tried to bring out one of those steel spikes like I just showed you in my, before my other log bridge to mount the one I bought at Lowe's. It didn't work. This stump is just still way too hard, and I could not pound it through. I could not drill a hole to get it through. So what I did, I had to come up with a different plan. I had to be a little more creative. And so what I did is I just took some blocks of wood because I wanted to elevate it up a little bit. There was no tree right here. So I took some blocks of wood, I drilled some holes through them, cameled the blocks of wood up, and then I put some extra bigger, stronger leg bolts all the way through, and I got my wrench in there, and so those leg bolts are running through the bottom of my trail camera box. And that's how I mounted this camera to the log bridge, and I've got some great videos off this throughout the summer. It's now October, and things are slowing down a little bit with the bears. They're leaving the areas, heading up to the high country, but hopefully I'm going to leave this during the winter and see if we can get some bobcats and coyotes coming across, and possibly even some deer. Yeah, this is that strangest thing when you watch deer walk across this high log bridge. It's just 12 feet up. I just haven't had that on any of my log bridges like I do on this one. All right, so that's how I mounted this camera this time on this log bridge. I like to have them at my ends, like I said. So trail camera tip is be creative when putting in your cameras. You have to sometimes, otherwise you'll miss out on getting some great video. And I've got some really good video on this, which I really like. All right, let's head home. It's starting to get dark.
After all these years, seeing a big bear rub a tree still gives me thrills. This is what a bear I call the Big Brown. I've now had him on my trail camera for 6 years. See him bite the tree right there? What's unique about this bear is I get him on new trees each year, and I keep adding more cameras. But I'm also doing something else to get a little, creative, and that's mounting cameras above, looking down on the trees he's rubbing. And I only not get the Big Brown, but I get other bears. Now let's hear about that tip.
Here's another trail camera tip for you. When you're out in the woods, think of yourself as a director, and all the animals are your cast members. And doing that, you want to get different angles of camera view, just like you see in movies. Today, I'm putting a new camera up. I'm going to put it up high
high looking down because I've noticed a bear rubbing this tree. So I put a bracket on a security box. I like this kind of box because the camera actually slides from the top and it doesn't fall out, and you just put the lid on, lock it up, and you're good to go. So let's get it done. Remember, your tip is think of yourself as a director. Cast members are all these critters out here, and we're going to get different angles of video or photos to tell the whole story. All right, let's get her done.
Wow, I really like this view. A big black bear crossing my log bridge as seen from above. You ever notice in action movies when there's an action scene on a bridge, a lot of directors have a scene where you're looking down on that action from above? Well, we know we're gonna have animals crossing our log bridge, so there's gonna be some action. We're gonna have animal activity, and a unique and creative video might be for you to set up cameras above looking down. Let me tell you how to go about that. Hi, Doug out here in the woods again. Hey, it's that time of year, bear mating season. I love it because on my log bridges, I get a lot of different bears crossing them, especially this bear, or this log bridge. It's very active. I got cameras mounted not only at the ends, but both sides. And over the last month, I added some cameras looking down on the bridge from above. It's kind of like when you watch an action movie, and I've said this before, you notice when there's an action scene on a bridge, directors always have a view looking down. They do it with drones, they do it with helicopters, however they do it. But I wanted to do that on my log bridges. But I didn't want to bring out tree steps. I didn't want to have to climb trees at my age. I didn't want to, haul out one of my ladders. So how do I do it? Well, I ordered one of these systems. This is the SpyHi trail camera mounting system. Look at that. It extends, locks into place. Now, let's see if I can reach up there and grab this camera. Hardest part is my old eyes trying to see the hole up there. But he manages to do it, and that's how easy that is. Now, if you don't mind, I got to take a quick peek to see if I have anything on my camera here. Ooh, nice. This bridge always has bears crossing it. Well, I can't wait to post these videos. Oh, they don't look like they're getting along too good. Or are they kissing or pushing each other? I'm not sure. All right, we'll have to check that out when we get home. Hey, but let me tell you how this system works. Basically, in the tree, using the pole, you install one of these plungers. It's got this little, screw-in adapter. And then you take the pole and you put it right here and you push it, and it's got these little holes that lock it into place, and that's your camera. Now, the key thing is, SpyHi also came out with a little laser. You attach this to your pole, and it's a laser, and wherever your camera, the way it works is where the camera's pointing, this is where this laser's pointing. And I'll tell you, I can get it right on that bridge each time. I've actually mounted it here so many times now, I don't even need the laser. I can look up and look at it and say, well, that's perfect. So if you haven't tried one of these, it's called the SpyHi trail camera mounting system. Very solid piece, and it lets you get those views from above without little effort bringing out any equipment to do that. carrying 2 poles and a little mounting system is super easy. Okay, I hope that's a great tip for you. Enjoy these views from above, because I sure am. Alright, I got some other trail cameras to include some more SpyHi trail camera mounts I have on another log bridge, and I can't wait to go see what else I got on there. Alright, good luck, folks. Take a look at the videos I got that day. As you can see from above, I have those little bears are kind of pushing each other around a little bit, and they actually even got off the end of the log bridge, hit my camera, what I have mounted at the end right there, and then went rolling down the hill a little bit, still going at it. I was sure happy I had my cameras mounted up high where I could see this action. And one thing I can point out, I've learned by using this system, bears don't seem to notice cameras at all if you mount them up about 12 feet. I haven't had any bears yet pull on any of my cameras. I even have it mounted now on my water hole, and I can't wait because next month it starts to get really hot, and these bears just go in the water at this location all the time, and should have some good video there. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll leave you with a few more examples, and I'll see you next time for another trail camera tip video. Take care, everyone.